thousands of families throughout this country.
Thanks, Les Corla. I would like to welcome the women and men and families who've come to the Dáil today. And I realise that for them it must be at least somewhat of an important step that there will be a formal state apology. But this is an apology in words. But is it an apology in deeds? Because we are still continuing to outsource a vital health service, and still women are being pursued by the state through the courts. So those are two categorical and vital issues that have not been changed one iota by this government. Women are still not being believed and assisted after all they've had to go through. The rights of the companies who profited from all of this are still being placed before the rights of women in this country. What does it say? That during this crisis, groups sprang up around the country called Women's Lives Matter. Isn't it something else that women have to set up groups to tell this country that their lives matter? But that's exactly what's happened. And women's health, we know, has been second place and second class in this country for a long, long time. Now, the lack of communication that we saw during this crisis and the finding by Dr. Scally of medical misogyny, it was the Ireland of old where male doctors often knew best and where women themselves weren't consulted over their own health care. During the repeal referendum, and I believe the repeal campaign, the marriage equality campaign and the action of women in this campaign are very positive developments in this country because they're a statement of the unwillingness of those who are being discriminated against to accept it any longer. But one of the key slogans was "Our body, our choice," and it was said thousands of times in the last number of years. So many spoke out about exactly this issue of not being heard and consulted over their own lives, health and future. And here we are again with these women. Now, this isn't unique to Ireland. The gender discrimination in medicine will be an international feature. For example, in the US, there's 96 health schools and only 9 run what are called women's health courses. There's much international statistics about this. However, in Ireland, we know we have a particular feature where we have a strongly patriarchal society. But as well as that, these women have been victims of capitalism because a decision was taken in this Dáil by Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, well, I don't know if Fine Gael carried it through, they may not have voted for it at the time, but they carried it on, to outsource a vital public screening. And others spoke out against it at the time, including Joe Higgins, who was a Socialist TD, and others involved in the service. And the result of it was that cost became more important than quality, according to Dr. Scally. That quality dropped as a weighting factor from 25% in 2008 to 15% in 2012. And then price increased as a factor to 40% of the consideration for tendering in 2012. And the outsourcing to labs thousands of miles away, where obviously you don't know what they're doing, has been the result. So if you really mean it, if you really are sorry, stop the outsourcing and commit to providing these vital women's health and other health screening programmes through the public health service, and stop pursuing these women in the courts.